Hi all. So yeah, the big job on the Impreza for this year. I'm going to start now. You know what? I might as well get it done. I'm not planning on using the Impreza particularly, so I've got the Beetle sort of there ready to go. So plan is to remove the rear subframe and obviously all the various arms and the anti-roll bar. You have to drop the gearbox. You have to drop the prop shaft, all that kind of stuff, and basically get all of that apart, mainly the arms, get it all powder coated, new bushes. Probably going to go for sort of Subaru pink for that, and black subframe I expect as well. So I think it should look pretty nice, pretty classy. And possibly get that anti-roll bar as well, potentially redone as well, automatic. Then I can landing guide the whole lot and then it's done. New bushes, all that sort of stuff. So I don't want to do it obviously, but no one else is going to do it for me, so need to crack on and have a go. Right, so yeah, I'm going to whip the wheels off. And actually one thing I'm probably not going to do the backing plates because they're so expensive for this particular model, and I'm pretty damn sure you have to take all the wheel bearing out as well, which is, you know, another 50 quid for each wheel bearing, plus the backing plate is about 140 quid each. So I think actually I'm just going to spend a lot of time myself just cleaning up the backing plates. Really nice, getting bare metal, zinc them, and then paint those myself. But everything else that I can do will be blasted and powder coated. So that's the plan. Cool. Right, yes, I also, yeah, took about 3 hours, I would say, to undo everything. Obviously, I did take this unit out when I got the car, you know, a couple of years ago, to do a couple of little bits and bobs on it. So I knew that none of the bolts would be seized or anything like that. So obviously, I haven't taken apart any of the arms or stuff. This has just taken me sort of about 3 hours, and I have stopped a few times, you know, to get it out. It's obviously on my sort of gearbox style lift. So if I, whoops, so excuse that, I'm on editing, I'm just doing this as a favour for people. I may have to lock that on there. Now I can lower it down. Obviously in a second I'll double check that there's nothing still attached, you know, and get a bit more even to make sure that, you know, I'm not sort of pulling down on anything. But yeah, pretty sure it's just sort of hanging there, just attached to the struts. So I'll release it in a second, and that's then should then drop down nice and even, and then I can basically then use this device here to pull the whole unit out. Right, yep, so nice and easy. So with that blue trolley, which is absolutely amazing, yeah, the whole unit literally just slid out. No problem whatsoever on that. So what I'm doing now is I'm now going to strip this down as far as I can, which is basically a case of getting the rear subframe off, getting all the arms off. Like I mentioned on the first video, leaving these on, and I'm going to literally do my best to get these nice and clean, then zinc 182'd and then painted, and sort of tidy up any scuffs and any crap on it basically, because I don't want to have to take that off. And I believe I need to take the wheel bearing off. So if I cut this piece here off, then this piece off, which obviously then destroys the wheel bearing in order to get this cover off. And obviously they're very, very expensive for this particular model. Obviously for WRX they're a lot cheaper, just FYI, but a lot of money for this model. So I think I can clean those up and happy days. Yeah, basically get all the arms off, and then I can look at the bushings, and then ultimately use some skill, because I've never removed bushings before, to remove all the bushings from then get the arms down the blasters, get this down the blasters, and go for it. I've got this large piece of metal here, which is like the sort of cross brace. So I'm actually going to get this out as well, because I want to get that blasted at the same time, plus replace the large bushings which are either end. You know, whilst this is out, you might as well, in my opinion, do that as well, because you can't get that out really without getting all this stuff out. So yep, I'm going to go for that as well. Cool, nice one, thanks all. Yeah, pile. So the end of part one. So basically it's taken me literally all afternoon. So I started this around about 12:30, and it's now 5:30. It's all looking good though. So as you can see, all the manky arms are all off. What I had to do is I had to use propane heat on this particular one here, because this was absolutely, this wasn't going anywhere when it was off on the floor. It might be easier to remove, obviously, or loosen all of these bolts off whilst we're on the car. Might be much easier doing that. Also, if you've got power tools, it'd be no problem at all. But for me on the floor, I had to use propane to heat that one, and that came off no problem at all. Things like, you know, this time I'm just gonna have to look at this, you know, unbolt all that, clean it up, unbolt it, remove the rubber bit there ready for blasting. I've made loads and loads of small little notes so I know where things went, such as this manky speed, ABS sort of speed sensor here. So getting, obviously I'm unpeel the wire from that so I can get this blasted as well. So obviously you want to make notes of things like this so you know which side it goes on. And obviously there's also even things like, how the handbrake routes, obviously the handbrake's obvious where it goes into the drum, but it goes underneath the trailing arm. So it's things like that just to be aware of, that's all. So I'll clean all that up as well and reuse those. So bits and bobs that obviously I don't need to be blasted, but I'll just clean these bits and pieces here. And these little covers, I'll make sure they're El Minto. There's probably some other bits and bobs in there as well. I've got 3 pots of nuts and bolts there. So the left hand side, right hand side, and a centre bolt. A lot of bolts, obviously I've named them, so that's happy days. And on here, this is the disgusting bit that I need to have a little think about what I'm going to do with this. So I'm going to talk to the blasters and see if there's any way that they can. Also, I've got the wheel bearings in there. Anywhere they can blast anything without getting any crap in the wheel bearings. If it's not possible at all, then I'll have a little think about what I'm going to do with that. I'll probably just have to spend, the best part of the day with like paint stripper and chemicals and things like that, and just get all the shit off myself. I'm going to have a little think about it and see. I know ideal scenario, obviously, is you take it all apart, get it all blasted, or get new parts, of course. But just cost, I need to save some money on cost, that's all, because this is a hobby, not I haven't got tons of stacks of money, So anyway, it's all off. It's all looking absolutely good. Quick look at the parts in there. Get all blasted. Yeah, that came apart, no problem at all. Excellent. There you go. Thanks all for watching. And I'll take them down the blasters, and then once they come back, in a few weeks or so's time, then I'll do a part 2. Nice one.